The moment the door slams shut, the social media block, the absolute silence that echoes in your home and your mind. After the discard, the feeling that dominates your body is one of brutal erasure. It feels like you never existed. It feels like your entire history, all your intimacy, all your plans were deleted from the server of reality in the blink of an eye. You look at your phone, and there's nothing. You look for answers, and you find a wall of indifference. And the question that gnaws at your soul during sleepless nights is always the same. How is this person able to move on so fast, as if I were nothing? The truth, which no one tells you, and which their social media hides very well, is that the external silence does not reflect the internal reality. While you are there, paralyzed by the pain, trying to pick up the pieces of your identity, the narcissist is not living happily, in quotes. They are right now performing a complex, rigid, and desperate psychological ritual. It is not indifference. It is an active defense mechanism. What happens behind the scenes of the narcissistic mind after the discard is not forgetfulness. It is a full-blown war operation to restructure reality. Today, we are going to invade that backstage. We are going to decode the silent ritual that every narcissist, without exception, performs as soon as they turn their back on you. And when you understand this, the feeling of having been discarded like trash will disappear to be replaced by something much more powerful, the clarity of someone who sees the broken gears behind the mask. My name is Lauren Mitchell. My purpose with this channel is to show you that the problem was never you, and more importantly, that you are not alone. If you still blame yourself, still doubt yourself, still try to put the pieces back together, my ebook is for you. It doesn't just explain the cycle of narcissistic abuse. It comforts you, validates you, and gives you back your voice. There is nothing as complete and yet as careful as this guide. Access my ebook and learn about the benefits of channel membership through the link in the description of this video. Let's start by validating exactly where you are right now. The post-discard scenario is designed to make you feel crazy. The narcissistic person doesn't just end a relationship. They stage a triumphant getaway. The image that likely reaches you, whether through mutual friends, a quick peek at social media, or your own imagination, is of someone who has been liberated from a burden. They seem lighter. Maybe they are already in a new relationship, flaunting a soulmate with the same intensity they once dedicated to you. They post photos at parties, motivational quotes about getting rid of negative energy, and display a terrifying functionality. Meanwhile, you are collapsing. Your nervous system is in tatters, addicted to the biochemistry of the abuse cycle. You replay the last conversations, trying to figure out where you went wrong, what you could have said differently. The physical pain in your chest is real, and the contrast between your devastation and the narcissist's apparent contentment is the final blow. This generates a cruel doubt. Was I the problem? Was I toxic? Did they finally find happiness, and I was the obstacle? This is exactly how the narcissist needs you to feel. But here is the secret. This shop window of happiness and moving on is not the result of healthy emotional processing. A normal person, upon ending a significant relationship, goes through grief. They reflect, they cry, they feel the loss, they process the ambivalence. The narcissist lacks the structural capacity for grief. What you see as moving on is, in fact, a manic performance to prevent the collapse of the false self. It is a flight forward. They are not running toward a new life. They are running away from the shame of the previous relationship's failure. And for this escape to work, they must execute the first step of the silent ritual, something that happens exclusively inside their head, but has the power to destroy your reputation. The first pillar of this hidden ritual is what we will call the pathological rewriting of reality. Understand one fundamental thing about the narcissistic personality structure. They cannot tolerate shame. Guilt is a corrosive feeling that, if felt, threatens to destroy the grandiosity fantasy they sustain. A relationship breakup, by definition, implies failure. It implies that something didn't work. If the narcissist were to admit, even internally, that they had responsibility for the end, that they abused, cheated, or neglected you, they would enter a narcissistic collapse. So what does their mind automatically do? Seconds after the discard, it activates a mechanism of dissociation and historical rewriting. At this very moment, the narcissist is retelling the story of the relationship to themselves, but with the roles reversed. In the edited version running in their mind, you are the abuser. You are the crazy one, the jealous one, the unstable one, the person who sucked their energy. All the reactions you had to their abuse, your cries of despair, your tears, your demands for respect, are isolated from the context and used as proof of your instability. They are not just lying to others. They are lying to themselves so they can sleep at night. This is the ritual of self-image purification. They need to believe they are the victim to justify the cruelty of the discard. This is why the coldness is so shocking. It is not that they do not remember the good times. It is that they cannot access them right now. To sustain the narrative that they got rid of a problem, they need to paint you entirely black, splitting. You cease to be a complex person and become a bad object that needed to be discarded. This rewriting is vital for their narcissistic supply. By casting themselves as the surviving hero, or the martyr victim, they extract attention and sympathy from new targets and flying monkeys. While you mourn the loss of a love, they are celebrating their survival of a monster they created in their own mind, you. Now that they have rewritten the story and convinced themselves that you are the villain, logic would suggest they would never look back, right? If you were as horrible as they claim, they should want absolute distance. But here enters the second pillar, the most contradictory and disturbing, the invisible panopticon. Even after the discard, even after blocking you or saying they never wanted to see your face again, the narcissist maintains an active surveillance system. The panopticon is a concept of prison architecture where a single guard can observe all prisoners without them knowing if they are being watched or not. The narcissist turns your life into this prison. Why monitor someone they discarded? Because the narcissist does not relate to people. They relate to possessions. And the fact that they threw the toy away does not mean the toy has stopped being theirs. This surveillance ritual serves two purposes of emotional regulation. Validation of superiority. They need to see you suffer. If they spy on your social media, using fake profiles, friends, or business accounts, and see sad posts, subtle jabs, or depressive silence, they feel an injection of power. Look how destroyed she is without me. I'm unforgettable. I'm powerful. Your suffering is their long-distance supply. Damage control and fear of replacement. The narcissist's greatest hidden fear is not losing you. It is seeing you happy without them. If they spy and see you looking good, prospering, or worse, with someone else, it generates a narcissistic injury. This challenges the rewriting of reality we saw in the previous chapter. How can the crazy, unstable one be doing so well? This shakes their fantasy. That is why the post-discard ritual involves obsessive check-ins. They monitor your online status, your last seen on WhatsApp, your new friendships. It is a maintain an invisible, toxic umbilical cord. They need to ensure you remain static, frozen in time, waiting for them or suffering because of them. You feel like you are alone, but energetically there is an all-seeing eye hovering over your life. It is surveillance without contact, abuse that continues through silence. We arrive at the deepest pillar, the one that explains why they almost always come back, hoovering. We will call this stage emotional cryogenics. Healthy people possess something called object constancy. This means we can maintain an emotional bond and an integrated image of someone even when we are angry or distant from that person. We understand that separation does not annul the other person's existence. The narcissist has a severe failure in object constancy. For them, out of sight, out of mind, is taken to the extreme, but with a distortion. When you are not serving them, you are placed on a mental shelf, like a toy the child got tired of using but does not want to definitively throw in the trash. The post-discard ritual involves freezing the victim. In their mind, the relationship has not truly ended. It has only been paused. You have been placed in a state of cryogenic suspension. They truly believe that at any moment, a week, months, or 10 years from now, they can simply press the unfreeze button and you will be there, exactly as they left you, ready to serve, willing, and available. This is why the discard is so cruel and without closure. They do not want to give closure. Closure would free you. Closure would allow you to bury the dead and move on with your life. The narcissist leaves loose ends on purpose. They leave belongings at your house, do not block you on one specific channel, or say ambiguous phrases like maybe, someday. This is the ritual of object preservation. They are guaranteeing a supply reserve for the future. When the new supply source fails, and it will fail, or when they are bored and need a quick validation that they still possess control over someone, they will turn to the shelf. emotional. Cryogenics is the supreme arrogance of believing that the victim's life does not continue without their presence. They do not conceive that you are an autonomous being who evolves. To them, you are an NPC, non-playable character, in a video game who stays stuck in the same spot waiting for the player to return. Now, look at this whole picture. What seemed to be a happy man, or woman, moving on with life and forgetting you, is actually a prisoner of an exhaustive pathological cycle. The post-discard ritual is hard work. Think about the energy spent to lie to themselves and obsessively rewrite memories so as not to feel guilt. Monitor your social media from the shadows, afraid of what they will find. Keep you mentally frozen as an emergency option. This is not freedom. This is not happiness. This is a mental prison. The turning point for you, today, is to understand that you do not need to participate in this ritual. When you understand that their happiness is fake, and that their indifference is a strategy of manipulation and self-defense, you take back the power you gave to that narrative. You are not a frozen object on anyone's shelf. You are not the villain of their poorly told story, and you do not need to be the prisoner of the panopticon. The best response, the only one that definitively breaks this ritual, is your genuine indifference. Not the indifference faked for them to see, but the real indifference of someone who understood that there is nothing there to be salvaged. Leave them with their fantasies, their surveillance, and their lies. While they repeat the same ritual with the next one, and the next and the next, you have the real opportunity that they will never have, to live a life based on truth, real connection, and emotional freedom. And that ritual is theirs, the life is yours. Lock the door, change the locks, and do not look back. Feel free to leave your story, your vent, or even a suggestion for a topic for the next video in the comments below. Access the link in the description to find out about my ebook and the benefits of being a member of this channel. Click the suggested video on the screen to continue with me, and remember, you are light. Never forget to shine.